Time now for All Things Gators, All Things Orange and Blue. Dan Hicken and Frank Frangie. What's up, Hick?
Oh, getting closer, getting ready. Camp's underway, and Southeast Orthopedic Specialist brings us our podcast each and every week. Thank you to those fine folks, se-ortho.com. If you are in the Jacksonville area and have any orthopedic needs. Oh, Frank, now information is going to start to seep out.
It's seeping. It's really
seeping out.
And I will tell you this about the seeping.
Mm-hmm.
There's very little the public, us included, knows about this team I think by design.
Yeah.
No spring practice or no spring game.
Right.
Okay. No access to practice.
Right.
I mean, I'm thinking, okay, what's Dan Mullen thinking in all this?
Yeah.
When we had him in Birmingham, he was fantastic, transparent, stayed a long time, but he doesn't want, for whatever reason, he doesn't want anybody to see anything. I think part of it's smart. He's thinking, look, we have a lot of newness.
Yeah.
Most prominent among that is a brand new quarterback who has a different playing style. Why should I show anybody what he looks like?
Right.
You know, I mean, they've seen him play in situational deals, but they haven't seen him as the quarterback. So my guess is the reason nobody's seeing anything, again, they by design didn't have a spring game. They could have had a spring game.
They could have.
Okay.
They were criticized for not having one.
They didn't have a spring game.
Yeah.
They and even this when they did the access shows, very little Emory Jones, a few generic throws here or there. Now nobody can see practice, so there may be a lot of things. There's certainly something Dan doesn't want anybody to see because typically a few practices would be open, a scrimmage, something.
Yeah.
There'd have been a spring game. There's nothing. Usually the only video you're going to see is what the team sends out, and it'll be generic drill stuff, I would think.
Right.
So clearly, this is a coach that wants nobody to see anything he's got. And I'm assuming because there's so much newness, why show anybody? But it's
that and
that's
maybe
a clear theme, I think.
Alabama week 3.
Well, that's right. Among the people you're not going to show. But by then, Alabama will have seen stuff.
Well, they will. They'll see a couple games, but they'll see them out-athlete those guys. And
But I want to go back to our last podcast. This got me thinking.
Yes, sir.
You are convinced they absolutely roll FAU and USF.
Oh, yeah.
I'm convinced the game's a little closer than that.
Yeah.
So, though, I thought about this after we did the podcast. This isn't about...
You want to take it back and say you're right, Dan?
No. I'm still bitter about the lunch.
That's what it was about.
I'm still bitter about the preseason lunch bet.
Right,
I'm angry. I'm bitter. I don't like you all that much anymore.
That's fair.
But I did get thinking about this. Those comments, you think they're going to roll
Yes.
FAU and USF, and me thinking it's going to be closer than you think. Those comments really aren't about FAU and USF.
Right.
It's different to where we think they are.
Yes.
I think they're a good, solid, tough program.
Yeah.
One of the top 10.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're going up and down the field necessarily.
Yeah.
You think, I'm serious about it. You think they are.
No, I do.
Why is that?
I think they have experience on the offensive line. I think Emory Jones has played significantly. I think that ground game is going to really take off with his ability to run. I think Mullen's even more comfortable. Look, Mullen's going to figure it out. But he had to figure it out last year. This is more in his wheelhouse of play calling. RPOs come into play, hence the receivers will get open more. The ability to find the fast guy who can just drag across the middle of the field because of the run game and just get it to him and off he goes. I just think they'll be very explosive against teams of lesser ilk than they are. So I and then defensively, I'm convinced they're going to be way better than last year. Way better.
Yeah,
not even like, and there's not everything is pointing towards them being way better. Yeah, not just the chip on the shoulder, but everything.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. If you see, if you're thinking, if Dan Hicken's thinking they beat the FAUs and USFs to the world 48-10 or whatever, I agree with the 10.
Okay.
I'm not there with the 48 yet.
Okay.
So I think I agree with you defensively.
Actually, I got him in the 50s in one of the games.
Okay. So and by the way, I'd love to buy you that lunch bet. Okay. There's no way. I'd love to. I don't see 50-point team all of a sudden with quarterback.
The other thing about
Mullen, I worry about the pass catchers. I never worried about it. I told you last year. Yeah. I know Van Jefferson's gone and Swain's gone and Hammond's gone and Cleveland's gone.
Yeah.
I don't worry.
Yeah.
This year I do worry about the pass catchers.
The other thing about Mullen, he's a smart guy.
Yeah.
And Mullen is going to want to build his guys' confidence early.
Agreed.
And I think there was a game very early on in Felipe's tenure.
Okay.
Where he might have had 4 or 5 or 6 touchdown passes against a lesser team.
Yeah, right. A way lesser team.
And there might have been even like some 3-yard tosses.
Right.
But they were touchdown passes.
Yeah.
And I envision that as well.
Well, yeah, certainly you're right. because there's a lack of confidence in your offense, because everyone's talking about all the guys you lost, you'd love for those guys to go into that post-game locker room, having explained why they scored so many points. I agree with that.
Yeah.
There's no doubt that that's strategically to build confidence in your troops. You want to score a bunch of points.
Because what's going to be the number when your boys give me the broadcast crew for the opener against FAU. Give me a couple of those lesser name guys. I think Tom Davis or what's the guy's name?
I think and it's not Tom Hart.
Yeah.
It could be Tom Hart. It's SEC Network. So I'm going to give you Tom Hart.
Give me Tom Hart and who?
Who does Tom work with?
Tom sitting next to in the booth?
Who does Tom work with?
Yeah.
Is it Stinchcomb?
Stinchcomb. That's fine. For purposes here,
okay.
Tom Hart and Matt Stinchcomb. It is Matt?
Yeah, it is Matt. There's two of them. That's the broadcaster.
Are doing the Welcome to the Swamp, where the Gators in front of fans again are ready to kick things off today against FAU. I'm Tom Hart along with Matt Stinchcomb. And boy, Matt, when you want to talk about one thing and one thing only, how do you replace Trask, Pitts, and Tony?
Right.
That's going to be the number one question.
That's the open.
That's the open,
that's
right?
The open, right?
We can do the open right now. We just did it.
You just did.
Yeah. And guess what?
All right.
Mullen's going to show you how you replace them in 4 hours later.
Yeah. If
that's all I'm saying.
If they're capable of doing that, if it was Charleston, Southern, or Eastern Washington, I would agree with you. I don't think FAU and USF are great teams, but I think they're better openers than they've played in the past.
If they're not capable of doing that, we have no shot against the Tide.
Yeah, and I hear you, and we'll see. I think
if it's 31-14, I'll take the Tide in the 16 and a half.
Yeah, I get it. We'll see. I don't think it's that black and white.
It's not, but
I think,
you know where I'm coming from.
I do.
Yeah.
Look, and by the way, if you're right, if your theory that Emory goes, they play fast, he runs, he throws, they lead they're first or second in the league in scoring again, they're top 6 or 7 in the nation in scoring again, well, then they're really going to be good, because I agree with you on the defense.
Okay, good.
So if you're right about the offense, up and down the field, Dan, who's catching the football? They have a football, and someone throws it, and Jacob Copeland's their star. He's wearing number 1.
Yeah.
Listen. I like Jacob Copeland.
Yeah.
But I don't see Kadarius Toney or Peter Warwick or
okay. This is where the
Harvin.
brilliance.
I don't see that.
This is where the brilliance of Mullen steps in.
Okay, I'm with you.
All right,
preach. I need to be preached to.
You know what? I don't like the way
in the congregation.
I don't like how our pass catchers are. Malik, you go in the slot here.
Yeah.
Okay, step one.
That, right.
Running back. A little pass, short pass over here. We're gonna go 2 tights on this one because I like the way Zipper and this kid Elksness is making all the grabs down the middle of the field. So I'm going to use those 2 on this particular play. And then which young kid, the Weston kid, one of those big tall ones is going to emerge. We'll be okay.
You know what? I hope it's that easy, bro. I hope it's just you left out Shorter, who's the tall guy.
Yeah.
I hope it's as easy as you suggest it's going to be. I think it's going to be harder than that. I think they will be tough. They'll run it better. Now, I do think they'll run the ball.
Yeah.
I think they'll be physical. I think they'll be way better on defense. I think they have a very good team. But if the part you're talking about that I'm not confident of is that they're going up and down. Because to go up and down the field, you got to throw it.
Right.
You can be a good, tough running team, but if you're going up and down the field, you got to throw it.
Absolutely.
If they're going to throw it like you think they're going to throw it,
yes.
Well, then it's going to be one heck of a year.
I remain
Who
confident.
are the key guys offensively? Give me some key. Emory, obviously, but give me 4 or 5 key guys.
It's hard to say because, what running back would you pick?
But the last 2 years, I could have given you those. The last 2 years, I could have run them. I could have run them off the top of my head.
Okay, but what running back would you pick right now as the key guy?
Dameon Pierce, because I don't know enough.
I want to see
Bowman.
one of the other ones emerge.
Okay, well,
I don't want
if one does. Malik Davis, I think after the injury, has become good, not great.
Yeah. I want the question marks, man. I want the Bowman or the Lingard to emerge as a big play guy.
Lingard, by the way, apparently is a wonderful guy. You take all this charitable stuff he does. Okay. I had no idea. But Bowman he's one of the best players in the country as a recruit. I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, we don't know.
Okay. The one guy that I would...
What if he goes 80 on a
that'd be,
toss sweep?
The one guy I would say watch that I think's pretty good that hasn't had it?
Naquan
Wright.
Yeah.
He's the one guy because he's fast.
Yeah.
He's physical and fast.
Yeah.
But that's my point. Again, you clearly, as you want to do, ducked my question.
I did.
Great question, ducking.
I think it was a good answer because I think I turned it to you to get the answer. And I didn't like your answer. I don't like any of the answers.
You didn't have an answer. But I mean, the key offensive guys, Copeland's got to be their star. He has to be. He gave him the number one. He's going to be their lead guy. So he's got to be the. And by the way, I think he's really talented.
He
dropped
Tony.
a lot of balls. No, he dropped a lot of balls. Shorter's going to be next.
Yeah.
He's not real fast.
No.
Okay. Then after that, I don't know.
Shorter. If Shorter's next, I don't know. I think we're going to emerge. I think you're going to see guys emerge.
You're a believer. I love the fact that you believe.
I see guys emerge.
You know who's a believer?
Yeah.
Guy that says guys emerge without putting names on it. That's a guy that believes.
A guy like 7th-year senior Rick Wells?
He's been there a lot of times.
Or his 8th year. I'm not sure.
He's the only.
Still there.
What I like about him is he's the only guy on the team as old as me.
Yes.
Which I do like that.
He is old.
But I do. I look, and he's such a good coach, and they're good players.
Yeah.
They'll be fine. I just don't know if they'll be as explosive as you say.
Okay.
So, based on the fact
that you don't like him getting fitty in either of the first two.
I don't see that. And I hope I'm wrong, and I hope you're right.
I need 7 tutties is what I need.
But I do think...
And a 2-point.
Between Antonio Valentino and Daquan Newkirk and the new Zachary Carter.
That has leaked out a little bit. I've seen some good things about the defensive tackle guys.
I think that I asked Zachary Carter in Birmingham, on air and off air, about the two new guys because you're really going to love them. Then off air, when we went to break and before he went to some of the other stations, he said, "Listen," he said, "those two guys are good." He said they're older, they're bigger because they're older.
Yeah.
He said those two guys, me along there with those two guys, going to be pretty good. Now
I need
the injury and Moon can finally play.
Yeah.
Well, now
we need Gervon Dexter to make his presence known
sure looks
next to those two. Yeah, he's a young kid.
If Big Dez, who I think is going to be really good, if he can play under 400, if Dexter can become what do you think he is, if those first, I think the defense can be good.
Yeah.
I think you're going to see a totally different Florida defense. I think they're ticked off. I think they got a chip on their shoulder. I think they were embarrassed. I think Grantham knows that people criticized him a lot. Mm-hmm. I think Ventrell Miller's played a lot of football. By the way, in college football, the best linebackers played a lot of football.
Yeah.
I mean, we certainly saw it with David Reese. By the time he had gotten to junior, senior, he was a really good player because he had played a lot of football. The best linebackers are guys that have played a lot of football, and Ventrell Miller's played a lot of football for them.
You know what's interesting about defenses in college, and I guess a lot are going to this, and Florida does it. Correct me if I'm not good with the X's and O's scheme guy, but they're sort of 4-2-5s now, right? Is that fair to say?
Everybody plays nickel,
right?
That's the NFL and college.
Yeah,
everybody plays.
It's like two backers.
Yeah. I mean,
but we have so many guys. I'm just wondering though,
nobody's base, but that's everybody's.
Okay, but can I get one of my linebackers who's because we have fast guys now?
Yeah, they do.
Okay, so if Diabate's not getting on the field enough, can we move him to one of the 5?
Well, I don't think so.
No,
the 5 are all defensive backs in today's day and age.
They got to be DBs.
But I'll say this about Mohamed Diabate. His problem was he's not been able to put on weight. I saw him say the other day,
like 211, right?
That he played just over 200 last year, and he said he's got in today's college football to stick it up in there against a run.
Yeah,
you got to be 230, 235, and they've got a bunch of guys that just haven't been as good a player as you hope they would be. But Ventrell Miller has now.
Yeah,
I think he's going to have a good year.
I like the linebacker. I like Hopper.
Yeah, Hopper's got a chance.
Hopper,
and he hasn't played a lot.
And Mari Burney's got some experience.
Bernie's the guy that has not been as good as they thought he would.
Right,
changed his number. Looks faster with number 2 or whatever he's wearing.
Yeah.
But he's a guy that has. But I like their defense. Yeah. And I think Elam's elite. Apparently, this guy Jason Marshall.
Yeah.
Is really good. Right now, they got Jaden Hill starting ahead of him, but
may not last.
And I think Trey Dean is going to be a good safety. I told you this last week. He should have been playing safety the whole time.
Yeah,
he talked him into corner. Wasn't a good corner. Talked him into nickel. He was better at nickel, but not great. He still's probably a little chip on his shoulder from the Alabama play. The
one thing we cannot have under any circumstances, Frank Frangie, is week 1 or 2 guys jumping around and not lined up, and secondly, somebody running wide ass open in the secondary.
Here's my concern, Dan Hicken.
If that happens,
I'm worried.
I may have to track you down and hit you.
You can. I'll take the shot for the team.
For the team.
I worry. I really worry that there's going to be a third quarter game in these first 2. Not a fourth quarter game necessarily.
I will be annoyed as hell.
I know you will, but I think there will be a third quarter game in these next two. So that's my fear. So we'll see what happens. We'll talk more.
I'm excited, man.
By next week, we'll be a week out.
We'll have some seeping next week.
Well, there'll be some seeping.
Yes.
So, all right. That's all things Gators. All things orange and blue. Yes. Dan Hicken and Frank Franchi.
And thank you, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, for this podcast. se-ortho.com for all your orthopedic needs in Jacksonville. Frank, you have a great week.
You too, Hick.